What's up? It's P Money on A Bro Catch Up. Since Gratitude, yeah, since the Gratitude album, like obviously making this new music, Buckshot record, and also the work with Gappy Ranks that I did recently. And I did a couple other little tracks here and there. I did a song with Sammy Gallows that helped one Scribe like put me onto him. He's like, this is my artist, I'm trying to support him. And I was like, cool, well, if you're gonna support him, then let me get involved. Like, what do you need? So they were like, yeah, can you do this? You know, do this one track. I knocked that out. Also my guy Blazon Maven, who was on Gratitude, he's got new stuff coming out. I did one track for him as well. I did a track for Razor Beezer on his album, the Imperfectionist. Did that track with Rizvan's on there, so that's dope. What else? I did something with CTFD from Hamilton. They're like electronic producers, but they also do hip hop as well on the low. But that song New Love, that's dope. I did a video for it. It's been getting a lot of love. What else, man? Yeah, just music, bro. Just doing tracks here and there. Definitely really excited about linking with, you know, the younger generation of artists coming through and doing more songs with people like from that scene. And yeah, and DJing. You know, that's my bread and butter. I'm still out there spinning. You know, I do gigs and parties like every other week, all around NZ, and I get to Australia quite a bit. Now that I'm, you know, back down this part of the world, and I was like, oh, you're back, cool, can you come play this? I'm like, yeah, of course. So having a lot of fun doing that. Yeah, just staying busy, man. Oh, you know what else I'm working on? Something really cool you guys might be into is a movie called The Last Saint. Have you heard of this movie? So I've helped with some aspects of the score and the soundtrack for The Last Saint, and that's been a real pleasure to work on. I think it's a really significant New Zealand film, and it's a dope watch. It's just a cool movie, you know. There's heaps of great scenes, and but it's quite serious as well, like a bit of a message in there, and yeah, it's cool. I haven't seen anything quite like it from NZ before, like a crime street drama. But it's very Auckland. You know, it's in New Zealand, but it's very Auckland. When you see it, you'll know what I mean. Yeah, it's dope movie. So yeah, look out for that. Last Saint, coming in August 28th. Theaters all around everywhere. Yeah, on the left-hand side you get the New York City kind of skyline, and then on the right you get the Auckland City skyline, like kind of as if you were looking from the water, kind of. Yeah, and then Buck standing there on a bridge. Yeah, I guess it's the travel kind of, I guess they're trying to get that across with the artwork, like traveling. And then the backpack thing is if you know anything about Buckshot, Boot Camp Click, Duck Down Music, they used to rock the backpacks 20 years ago, and that's where the term like backpack rap really came from, his generation, from all those cats that would rock, they'd carry the backpack, and that was part of their whole style and everything that they were into. So he's carried that tradition. He's like, well, we'll call it the backpack travels. It's like traveling around the world, you know. It's the stories that you gather as you travel the world. And being that I'm from the other side of the world, just put all that together, and there you have it, backpack travels. Life like heads and tails. First track off the album, Backpack Travels, song was called Flute, and yeah, it's dope because this track we managed to get Joey Baddest and CJ Fly from Pro Era on the song, and that came about through Buckshot had actually done an interview, like promo thing for another website. They had asked Buck to meet with Joey and just talk about emceeing and talk about being from Brooklyn, because it's like Buck's the, you know, the OG Brooklyn, and then Joey's like the new Brooklyn. So they chatted and they were talking for like 2 hours, and they hit it off really good. And then Buck was like, hey, I'm going to the studio after this, you want to come? They're like, yeah. And he rolled through, and then they put up the track for Flute, and then he just laced the verse, and it came out wicked. And then Buck, next thing he get this text, this email from him, hey man, got Joe Badass on the song. It's like, oh, that's sick. So, you know, I was really happy that they were able to collaborate, and for me to be a part of it as the producer, it's amazing. And then they went into the video as well, which was while I was back here in Auckland, so I'm not in the video, but my name's on the start, so it's official. Yeah, man, I think the video came out great as well. It's wicked. Good to see them all. I know those streets because it's all around where like Buck lives and stuff, that Franklin Ave and in Brooklyn, and then they go to the bridge, the Brooklyn Bridge as well. So it's cool to see all those locations. It's a real Brooklyn song. Like if you ever visit there, you'll see that's Brooklyn. That's what it looks like. Yeah. the beats were mostly made through that period of time while I was living in New York. It might be one or two that I had done before that even, but the process was that Buck was initially like, yo, send me, he asked me to do the record. He's like, I'm doing a new album, do you want to produce it? I was like, yeah, I want to produce it. So I sent him like 20 beats. I was like, this is what I think would be the sound of the album. And from there, he kind of went through it with like the fine tooth comb and picked out 2 or 3. He's like, okay, we're gonna start with these, but I need more like this. So then I'd throw him some more ideas and he'd be like, yeah, that one, but not those. So I started to, together we started to figure out the sound and what it should be. And then I was able to make a couple specifically like Flute, you know, like things like that. I was able to make specifically for the album. And then send them to him like, yeah, I know he's gonna love these, and then that helped finish it off. So we ended up, you know, nice and tight, 10 songs. Didn't overdo it, didn't put in a bunch of filler tracks. It was just like, this is the sound, these all go together. That's what we want to put across, you know. And the great thing, I think, also for, if I can speak on behalf of Buckshot, from what he told me, was that it's the first time in a long time that he's been able to make an album and not really be too concerned about, it has to be sounding like this or whatever. He was just going off the top of his head with the rhymes, just writing them down and just going with his inspiration, and, you know, not thinking about, it's got to sound a certain way. I think it helped. It was just free with the creativity, you know. Yeah, it worked out pretty good anyway. It's a nice sounding album. Like I say, I'd send him the beats and he'd sit with it for a while, then he'd hit me up when he's ready. I'm gonna come around this afternoon. And he'd come around and spend like 2-3 hours and we just record all of the raps that he'd written. And we'd have maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 tracks done at a time. And just piece by piece, man. It was real humble, real low key. He would just cruise around to my spot where I was staying and just come. We would set the mic up in the living room, small ass little lounge, little apartment space, and put the mic up. I'd be like, all right, push record and go. And it was. Man, I will be honest, I'm a big fan of Buckshot. Like, I had the Black Moon album and, you know, all the stuff that they did through the 90s boot camp and all that. I was a big fan of it. So to come fast forward to now and be the first couple times watching him record, and I'm like listening in the headphones, I'm like, holy shit, yeah, that's the dude. Like, he's still got that flow and that voice. It's a really classic, iconic sound. So at first I was just flattered to even be in the room. I was humbled to be working with him, you know. And then, but then I had to get my producer head on too and make sure that the songs are still going to come out representing him the best way it can, and also me doing my thing with the tracks and making sure, you know, don't forget to do my job. Like, oh shit, it's Buckshot. But, you know, do my job so that the album comes out really solid. Yeah, so that was. But it's always great working with him. He's real easy to work with because he's a professional. And he's very much an artist, you know. Just not concerned about anything outside of the music, really. It's the music. You know, the coolest thing, man, and it's gonna sound like a total brag, but it was the most humbling and flattering part of the experience. You know, I hold Buckshot in very high esteem. You know, I look up to him, I really respect him, and everything that he's been involved with music. So when I hadn't seen him for a bit, we'd finished, I think we'd done all the demos, we'd done the album, and he'd listened to it and taken it away. I hadn't seen him for a bit. I went up to the Duck Down office, I was talking to Noah's up there, and then Buck comes in and he's like, yo, P-Money, man, you've helped me make my favorite album since Enter the Stage. And I was like, for those that don't know, Enter the Stage is classic, Black Moon, Buckshot's first album, came out like '94. Also one of my all-time favorite, like top 10, top 5 albums. And so for him to tell me that the music we had made together made him feel like that was, I don't have words for that. That was like the ultimate honor. I was just hoping he'd think it was good. Like, yeah, he did a good job, man. But yeah, he gave me the highest praise. And he put it in press too, it's been in print. He repeated that, so it wasn't just a one-off. Like, so, you know, he rates the album, so I was just happy to do a good job, man. Made me feel like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. I also want to do big shout outs to the beat miners. I wouldn't even really be making the type of music I make if it wasn't for the beat miners, Evil D, Mr. Walt. Like, their beats, when I was a teenager, man, that shit was blowing my mind. So now to be working with Buck, they all came up together. Like, hats off to those guys. Also shout out Ninth Wonder, did some amazing Buckshot and Ninth Wonder albums, you got to get those. And I'm just happy to be in such great company, man. I feel like honored and privileged. So shout out to those guys, shout out to Duck Down, shout out to Buckshot, whole boot camp. Yeah.